you like being in a fight?
I love it. I actually feel, it sounds crazy, and a lot of people probably couldn't understand or relate to it, but I feel at my most comfortable in the heat of battle when I'm in there with somebody and I'm fighting. I can't hear anything else. I can't hear anything. All I can do is, I'm just in a zone that no other walk of life can get me into. I'm just fortunate we live in a society where I'm allowed to do it. But it's a place that I believe I'm truly genetically designed to do that to be in there competing.
But you retired in 2012, I think it was, and you said that being hit in the face for 20 years was long enough.
Yeah, I had a plan from, sounds crazy, I had a plan from when I was a kid that I'd retire before I was 31, I believe. You know, competing for 20 years.
It's a long time.
So it's a long time. But I believe I could achieve all I wanted to in 20 years. You know, I was the undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world. I won all the titles at the 90 kilo weight division. No other British fighter had ever done that before. I then went up to heavyweight and won the heavyweight title, beat the biggest ever heavyweight champion in history, 7'2", 25 stone. Became the second man in history other than Evander Holyfield to do that. And then I wanted to unify the titles against Vladimir Klitschko on his home turf in Germany. Went to do that just before my 31st birthday and lost that fight in points. So I didn't quite achieve.
So there was a one final thing.
There was one final thing. I wanted that perfection in my career. If I would have had that, I'd have been able to retire. But it didn't quite happen. So I said I was going to retire. I've been saying it since I was 10. So I thought, OK, I'm going to retire anyway. Sitting at home, you know, on a beach somewhere, going, something's not quite right. There's still some work to do.
I mean, a number of boxers, I include you in this. Outside the ring, you're gentle, softly spoken. Is it easy to go from that to the aggression that's required to win?
It's harder being here now, being a healthy member of society. That's the hard part. That's the hard part for me.
Actually, Michael's found out too. It's been a struggle for him. He's still working on it, actually.
Believe it or not, it's the easiest thing for me is once I'm in the ring, once there's a referee there and it goes back, everybody gets out of the ring, it's just me, my opponent, and the referee. I don't see the referee. I can hear him, I sense him, I know he's there, but I'm just in the zone and I'm like, that's, you know, it's just a strange. Not many people can get it because not many people have been there, but it's a special place.
But you're now expected also, even before you get into the ring, to do this kind of face-off thing and stare at each other and look angry and serious and threatening. I mean, is that a mind game or is it just show business?
It's a bit of show business. Unfortunately, I've been in a situation where I've had someone play that game with me that got too close and it ended up kicking off. I ended up having a punch up in a press conference.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen
more. Like 200 members of the press that was on CNN and BBC. I was like, oh, terrible. But believe it or not, everyone said it was on all the front page news. It's a disgrace. It's terrible. Blah blah blah. But after that, one of the biggest grossing fights. It sold. That was the best possible promotion for a boxing match. Strangely, after everyone, all the writers who were saying it was disgusting, they were there front row. What a great fight! With really anticipated,
because they felt it was a real grudge.
It was a real. It was a genuine grudge. You know, filled a soccer stadium. It was a great night.
Wow.
Our politics is pretty adversarial.
Yes,
isn't it? It's quite. There's a lot of fighting talk. Even the metaphors are fighting talk. We say about who won PMQs.
Big beast.
There's a big beast. Are they up for the fight? Who wins? The upper hand.
It is. And I do think that what I've always found fascinating about the chamber is it's really exposing, because under pressure, people can't hide who they really are. Yeah, that's exactly right. And it is both. It is both a fight, but it's also theatre in the real sense that people are very exposed there, and their real tendency comes out.
But I think the number of people who are really stimulated by the fight in politics, really stimulated, who relish it, are very few. And they are the ones that get to the top. I mean, people like Tony Blair, people like David Cameron are exceptionally good. They really are stimulated by it. And they triumph because of that. I mean, when you were talking about being in the zone and loving all that, you could say that about that sort of politician. There's no doubt about it. And you're also saying that you are a rare beast. You are, I'm sure, and they are too.
Yeah. When you gave up the political fight, if I put it that way, and I know you have no thoughts of coming back now, but when you gave up, was there something at the back of your mind that said, well, this may just be for a while?
Well, that's how it was, because I was defeated. So, and I had this idea of unfinished business, a bit like what David has just said. And so I came back because I had unfinished business. I assure you that the second time I decided to leave, which was the first time I was leaving voluntarily, that was it. I'd settled.
There was no question in your mind that was.
But I'm also absolutely sure that I lacked the aggression that David has described, and I lacked the aggression that David Cameron or that Tony Blair or that Margaret Thatcher displayed.
You've got to get up, get back on your feet. You've got to forget the insults. You've got to always be driving forward and try.
No, David, the country, our country, has a new IBF World Heavyweight Champion, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
You want to fight him?
I'd love to. Yeah, he did a great thing the other night, Saturday night. You know, he had an American champion come over here, and he dispatched him in one round. It was a great
this
venue.
country's good at boxing,
We're doing fantastic at boxing. I think we have about 12 current world champions now. It's better than any other time.
Why is that, do you think?
I don't know. I think it might have been the spur of the Olympics. I don't know. Maybe kids are seeing champions and believing they've got a chance.
Role models.
A role model. He's seen these world champions now, the amateur kids, and believe I want to be there one day. And it's only now.
It's really popular in my constituents. We've got a couple of local gyms that I've been to.
They're not designer gyms. Boxing.
No, they're proper
amateur boxing.
Really
David, we're almost out of time. What's your next fight then?
Next fight's May 21st at the O2 Arena. I'm fighting a Kosovan guy, Arnold, the Cobra. He's 29 fights. He's never lost before. 6'5",
So
big
he's
old
heading
hump.
for a defeat now.
He's going to get knocked out, yeah. So
David, if you need any tips, just give me a call.
I might need a sparring partner.
Brilliant.